Carry on.
No, two got one, we got
double. Oh, right, okay. Double? Okay, when the fish is ready, Harry? Come on, mate.
I don't care about that. Someone's got one. I'm going to take it back.
This is angler. Stuart Morgan. $3.85. This is $3.95. You need orange from the recorder to get up here. Who got him? Ray Sargent. Yeah, mate.
Where's David?
Uncle David, he'll be coming in a minute, mate.
Where is he?
Out in the boat. Another man's boat. $3.65. Well done, mate. Alright, now this is a tag fish, so I'm going to give you the fork length, the total length, and then a tag number. Craig Johnson. Craig Johnson. With a J. H-O, next page.
Yeah.
Craig Johnson, alright. First one. I'm just getting that, working it out. So,
Turn it on.
nah. Oh, CJ, these live ones are too good. That zooms there. Fish,
Who's this? Been there for 2 hours.
$4.15. Tag number. Tag number is J0.
Yep.
Of course. You get the biggest fish, I'm going to be so sad.
Honestly, congratulations. No, that's only 45 and a half.
Nah, mate, yourself?
It's Craig Johnson's second fish.
Can I say?
Four. What wheels went well, CJ? $4.55. Who takes the numbers?
Yep.
This is Damien Norris with an N. Yeah. Oh, I said I did. I said I'm laughing. Congratulations. Thank you, Timothy.
Oh. Didn't have a net.
$3.90. Oh, you should have let me know. I had one in. Nah, she's big enough. You get a photo and everything?
Yeah.
$3.65. Oh, there you go. Well on, mate. Who you got?
Like the yellow?
You on Eric?
Lovely fish.
Two? Nah, skunk, mate.
You got 2?
That's right.
You nothing?
Oh, you're no guide? I thought you were a guide. You caught fish and you're not baited in? What sort of guy are you?
435. For Mike Creighton.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
I'll just throw it off. Yeah, alright.
Don't turn that thing off. It's not a sanction. It's
How
not
many
a
did you
sanction.
catch?
Not a
How many did
sanction.
you catch?
Me. Caught one.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, this session.
I caught 4. I got the biggest, equal biggest for the tournament.
Did you?
Yeah.
But the true
many-
contest starts at maroon. We all know.
Walks in the door, sits on the lounge. By the time I've got the coffee made on the table. It was worth it.
To congratulate the anglers that have done well on the weekend, and hopefully it's at this time that they maybe let go a few of the secrets that help them catch a few more of these Moogerah bass than maybe some of the rest of you. You will know, of course, this the Quintrex Millennium Bass Challenge here at Moogerah Dam is the first round of the Humminbird Bass Anglers Sport Fishing Series in year 2000. We all hope to see lots of you coming to our other events this year, which in February at Somerset, in March at the Jelke-Peterson Dam, in April at Moogerah Dam, and the grand final this year will be held up at Crestbrook Dam near Toowoomba in May. And I think it's going to be quite challenging to qualify for that grand final. It's going to be a very tough competition up on Crestbrook. There's a lot of different styles of fishing that produce the goods up there, and we're all very interested to see how anglers fare this year, both up at Crestbrook and then when we send them overseas to a bass tournament in the US to see if they can maybe emulate Harry's performance over in the US. Before we get on to the event sponsors and the results for today, I'd just like to give special thanks to the Maroon Moogerah Fish Management Association Incorporated. They've helped us out with the tournament by putting on the catering, and I'm sure everyone will agree that they cooked some quite fine food for the competitors, and it was great to come in after a session, measure your bass, and grab a nice fresh hamburger or that was just great to them. And of course, all these guys do it voluntarily, and all the money they make goes into fish stocking. So I'd like Pam Leckie to come up and accept a donation of $1,500 from Australian Bass Tournaments, and you can add this to the money that we make from the catering to put more bass into Moogerah and Maroon dams. Now I'd also like to thank, while Pam's coming up, the guys from Simon's Social Fishing Club. Those guys helped us with the measuring. We had a lot of fun, and we hope to see you maybe next year when we do it here again. So thanks for that, guys. Here we go.
Thank you very much, very much. Can I do the draw while we're here?
Yep, Pam would like to do the draw for the raffle for the consolatory drinks. John Crepin from Buda. Very good, that's one. And is that for both of them?
No, it's either or. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Well done, John.
Thanks, guys. Before I get into the results, I'd just like to thank once again the sponsors for the Bass Series. For this event in particular, Quintrex Boats. It's been great to see the big team from Quintrex come up, show us some of their new models, and there was quite a fleet of Quintrexes out on the water. Quintrex provided the major prize for the non-boaters for this event, and we congratulate those guys for having such an interest in bass fishing. Thanks, guys. We'd also like to thank Corey Marcus and Rick Huckstead from Humminbird to come up. Humminbird are, of course, the naming sponsors of the Bass Series, and Corey will be up later on to present the boater check to the winning boater today. Also, Queensland Fishing Monthly, Freshwater Fishing, Minn Kota Motors, Daiwa Tackle, the new Apex Marine on Logan Road in Brisbane, the Australian designed Tracker Clothing that have come in as a sponsor this year, Foundation sponsors Platypus, and of course Spotter's sunglasses. So between those sponsors, they've made the non-boater prizes the rich feast that they are, and they've provided cash as well to help us run these events. So a big thanks to all the other sponsors. Now the fishing, this event got tougher and tougher as it went along. In session 4 this morning, we've had 14 anglers bring in 17 fish to be measured, and the largest fish in that session 4 today was a 440mm specimen measured in by Brett Thompson. Congratulations, Brett. Brett, of course, is tied at the moment for the Big Bass prize with a 460mm fish. In session 5, it got real tough, and I'm sure that the 90 or so anglers out there were fighting very hard for the 10 fish that were measured in by 9 anglers. And Craig Johnson was, I think, the only angler that scored a limit in that final session, and also caught the biggest bass, a fish of 455mm. Well done, Craig. Overall, we had virtually half anglers caught fish and half anglers didn't catch fish. Congratulations to the 47 anglers who did catch fish, and we hope to see some of the remaining anglers at the other bass tournaments, because if you keep trying, the fish will come. So 47 anglers in total caught 102 fish for the tournament. So that's a good effort to catch over 100. It's the third bass tournament we've run that over 100 fish have been caught. We'll start with the prizes now, and we'll work, do the non-boaters first, and then the boaters second, and we'll work backwards through the places. Can we have up Sean Taylor, who came 10th in the non-boaters, and he received 4 spools of Platypus Super 100 line for 1 fish measuring 440mm. Sean? Anyone seen Sean? We'll catch up with him later on. Okay, coming 9th in the non-boaters and receiving again 4 spools of Platypus Super 100 fishing line, 2 fish in his first bass event for a total of 740 points, Dave Robinson. Dave came all the way down from Bundaberg to fish this, and he assures me he'll be at all the other bass events, so we look forward to seeing him as a fixture. Congratulations. Speaking of travelling a long way to fish the bass events, we've had an angler from Wollongong, is it, Robert? Robert Longby caught 2 bass, totalling 770 points, and again will be taking home 4 spools of Platypus Super 100 line. Robert? Thanks for making the effort to come up, and congratulations for catching some fish in your first bass event. Anglers that are getting prizes will be reminded that when we pick up the badges next week, they'll all be posted to them. So the unique BASS badges that we like everyone to wear on their tournament shirts are similar in design to these ones from last year, except they have a blue background, and anglers will be receiving those in the mail very shortly. David Percival came 7th in the non-boaters with 2 fish totalling 775 points. A great effort for his first bass event. David wins 4 spools of Platypus line and Tracker shirt.
Just a quick word, I'd like to thank my personal sponsors, Tomo's Tournament Tail Spinners. Thanks a lot, Tomo.
I think David was lucky enough to draw it on the first day too. Just goes to show what the luck of the draw can do. Coming 6th to the non-boaters is a very strong advocate of the bass fishing tournament, so Ray Sargent. Ray caught 2 fish out of a possible 10, 785 points. He wins himself a $100 Apex Marine voucher and some spools of Platypus line. It's good to see you up here on the podium. Congratulations.
Yeah, plenty to say today.
Bruce Morgenstern was off to a flying start yesterday with a couple of fish, and that's what he ended up with for 825 points. 5th place non-boater, Bruce Morgenstern. Bruce wins some spotters, rubber touch sunglass, tracker shirt. Congratulations. And of course a Team Quintrex hat there as well. Thanks very much. Also in his first bass tournament, catching 3 fish and coming in 4th place with a total of 1,215 points and winning a Daiwa Heartland fishing rod and tracker shirt, we've got Ward Elwood. Woody, come and test out CJ's trailer.
He worked well.
Congratulations. All right, getting up to the higher non-boater places and the bigger prizes. The 3rd place non-boater landed or measured 4 fish for the weekend and a total of 1,560 points. He's won himself a Minn Kota 36-pound thrust Enduro electric motor, a tracker shirt, a lovely badge in the mail next week. Damien Norris, come up to the stage. I'd just like to thank my sponsors, Kokoda, and the original EnviroNets. It's why my fish come back healthy. Thank you. Alright, also in his first bass tournament, the 2nd place non-boater is taking home a Humminbird 400 TX sounder, a tracker shirt. He caught 1,620 points worth of fish, which were 4 bass measured in. He's 16 this year and his name's David Young. Congratulations, Dave.
David.
Now, you're not going to get off this light. We've got a bit of a tradition of getting some of the top place getters up here to maybe let go a few of their secrets. What was your secret lure for the weekend?
It's the Bassman spinnerbait. It worked yesterday, didn't work too well this morning.
What size and what colour was it?
3/8 ounce, purple and green with a bit of bark stuff through it.
What about the blade combination?
Colorado on the top and Willow on the bottom.
So that's called a tandem, and you got all your fish on that. We look forward to seeing you at some of the other bass events, David. Congratulations. The winning non-boater, also qualifying for the grand final. I'd like to invite Andrew Hill up to the stage to present this prize. Non-boaters have traditionally done quite well, and last year Damien Norris actually took out the Somerset competition as a non-boater. This year we've split the prizes up, but the competition's still the same. It's 2 guys in a boat trying to catch some bass. This particular non-boater caught a 6 out of his possible 10 bass for 2,395 tournament points. He wins himself a Quintrex Mighty Bass Buster boat, the accompanying Minn Kota bow mount motor, both supplied by Quintrex. We give him a $100 voucher from Apex Marine on Logan Road, Mount Gravatt, to help him fit it out. We're going to give him a tracker shirt, we're going to give him a badge, and we're going to give a big pat on the back to Eric Grell.
Let your secrets go, Eric.
Grab the shirt, Eric. Get over here and I'll ask you some questions. Eric, we saw you up here. You were you were in the top 10 last year at Moogerah. You seem to produce the results on this dam. What are your secrets?
My secrets are probably the spinnerbaits that I use, and they're all Bassman spinnerbaits. It's sort of, last year were all white. Colour this year didn't really seem to matter too much, but for me, gold and black worked quite well.
And they were special ones that Robin made up for you?
Yes, they were. They're more gold than what they were black on top.
Now, we've seen in the last year or so longer rods getting the treatment in a few of the magazines. You were a strong advocate of long rods last year. What sort of rods are you running now with your reels?
Basically the same thing. I still believe in a 7-foot rod for bait casting or for casting lures. It's still it's a GLX Loomis that I use. It's a 3-power rod. It'll cast your 3 8.5 ounce spinnerbaits with no worries at all. It's very, very soft in the tip, so it gives you a good action to start with. And more than enough power in the butt section to get your fish back as quick as you like.
Do you fish braided or fused line in these tournaments?
Yeah, I fish braid lines.
Those long rods give you an advantage?
They give you a little bit of advantage, yeah. So you get better hook sets out of them. Your ability to sort of keep your fish away from your bait and sort of leading back into your nets a little bit easier is one part of it. Yeah, mate, it is all I've got to say, mate.
That's all right, you've done very well, eh? Congratulations, you've done very well. We'll see you at the grand final at Brexit.
Well, I guess, you know, this is my first event, and I read a book last week. I got given it to, for Christmas by Robert Hughes, and it was called A Jerk on One End. And I was that, waiting for a jerk on the other. But no, I really enjoyed the week, and had a weekend that had an absolute ball. And you know, Quintrex is really looking forward to getting continuing their support for the events and for years to come. And it was just fantastic to see a great turnout here, and just like to congratulate Eric again, and well done.
Thanks very much, Andrew. Let's move on to the money. All right. In 10th place for the boaters, we have a gentleman who placed 10th last year. He caught 2 out of a possible 10 fish this year for 845 points. Mike Creighton proved that local knowledge is a bit of a hand down here. Mike, come and get a cheque for $150. Congratulations, and don't forget this. At the end, we'll get all these guys to stand at the front for some photography, yes. 9th place for boaters, a fellow who's travelled all the way down from the Jockey Peterson way to fish this event. He caught 2 out of a possible 10 fish, wins himself a cheque for $200. He's got 850 points. His name is Matthew Mott. Congratulations, Matty. Cheque for $200. Are you going to be back?
I don't know. I've had a hard time at this dam. I'd just like to thank all my sponsors. There's a whole swag of them. Mitchell, Spiderwire, Evercool, Humminbird, Minn-Kota, McGinn Rods. I'd just like everyone to support these people, because without them we wouldn't be able to have comps like this, and I think their support goes a long way. I think a round of applause for all the sponsors would be great. Thank you.
Matty, before you leave the stage, give us a brief rundown on how Bajelki Peterson's fishing at the moment since you got
How did I know this was going to come? Bajelki's fishing really well. It's fishing better than what it did last time when everyone was there. Trust me, trust me. Spinner baits, all the jigs, they're all still working well. Just don't buy Tomo's, that's all. Unless you go to my shop, which is Evercool Tackle, which is the best place to buy the spinner baits when you come up. I can give you all the advice. No, it's fishing still. It's fishing well. Last time we had a lot of rain coming to the dam. Same situation that happened here. Bandoom is the same. It's fishing well too. And hate to see you all up there and give you a run for your money. Look out.
Thanks very much, Matthew. The 8th place boater takes home a cheque for $250. This angler caught 3 out of his possible 10 fish. Total of 1,210 points. Jason Ehrlich, come and grab some cash.
I
I'd just like to thank my sponsors in Toowoomba, Mulligut Marine, and also Dave Irvine, Environets, Shimano for spinning reels, and also Sports Optic sunglasses. And thanks Steve and Steve.
Thanks very much, Dave. This fella, one of the guys that wish COD actually counted for some points this weekend. Peter Kedge caught 4 bass for a total of 1,465 points. He's a 7th place boater, and he gets a cheque for $300. Pete, come and grab it. Maybe when Pete's here, he might want to give us a small account of those 2 enormous cod that came in Harry's live well. Congratulations, Pete. Well done. Here's a cheque.
Good on you.
Just tell us a little story about what happened up the top of the dam.
If I tell you where it is, I'll have to kill you all. We went up to catch a bass, and I did, and Harry didn't, because I pulled it out from under his bait, so he's real dirty on me. And I'm sure that those bass might be getting a look in the next week or so on surface poppers. But sorry, cod. But I'd like to thank Loomis and Harry for his cod charter this afternoon, and everybody, I'm sure, has had a very good time, and I hope to see you all up at Somerset. Thank you.
Thanks very much. For anyone who didn't see the 2 cod come in at the measuring, I think they were 79 and 77 centimetres. Lovely pair of fish. The 6th place boater was an angler who caught 4 out of his possible 10 fish, scored 1,520 points, and is taking home a cheque for $400. Gary Percival. Gary's backed up very well after his 4th place in the Angler of the Year last year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There's a cheque.
Thank you very much.
Can you tell us maybe how you caught some of these fish?
Spinner baits like everybody else. I got a couple on the flats. Unfortunately, one bricked me, but that's a different story. And the rest of them came out of the trees, just working them slowly out of the trees and not being too afraid to lose your bait. That's primarily how I done it.
Very good. We look forward to seeing you for the rest of the series, Gary.
Yeah, and I look forward to fishing it. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I'd also like to thank a few sponsors.
Yep, go for it.
A few sponsors I'd also like to thank as well. Humminbird firstly, Kokoda Lures, and Environets. Thanks, Dave. You do a great job. You even know how to use them, mate. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Gary. The 5th place boater was an angler who did very well in the grand final last year. He's scored 4 out of his possible 10 fish for 1,540 points, and he's going to take home with him today a cheque for $500. Paul Dolan, would you like to come up? And I don't think I saw Paul cast a fly all weekend. But, I wasn't looking maybe, but Paul said on the way down on the first day he was surprised himself because he was heading down to his boat with 3 rods and 3 spinnerbaits on them. Paul, maybe give us a little bit of an insight into how you caught your 4 fish. Congratulations anyway by the start. There's your cheque.
Start with, I'd like to thank all the anglers. I think everybody conducted themselves absolutely fantastically this weekend, and the atmosphere of these comps is incredible. For prize tournaments, the guys, everybody's chirpy and happy, and everybody's willing to give advice, and I think that's really good for this tournament. It's just going to go from strength to strength. As far as the fish, Jason put me onto it on Friday Ave, actually, slow, bumping it across through the timbers. I'm not a big fan of spinnerbaits, but I tell you what, I'm getting to like them. They actually catch fish. I'd normally throw the fly, but I was here Friday and it just didn't happen. Speaking of fly, I'd like to thank my sponsor in Pacific Composites. They got the new Black Shadow on the market. If anybody wants to have a look at it before I leave, I'll gladly show it to you. Just propellers and inshore offshore at Curramundi. Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much, Paul. Fourth place. The money starts getting a little bigger from here up. We've got an angler who got off to a flying start with 4 out of 10 fish and a total of 1,640 points. He's taking home a cheque for $600. I'd like to invite Kerry Ehrlich up to come and collect it. Kerry's been a very good supporter of bass events. I think he's fished them all so far, and we're looking forward to following his progress throughout the next season. Kerry, congratulations. Maybe come and explain to us what happened after that flying start. You're in the lead for a couple of sessions there, and what happened?
Oh, I don't really know what happened there. I think it was bit of good luck first up, or maybe I was just putting the lure in the right spot, but I didn't really change my technique or anything, but I just couldn't seem to get onto them after that.
What was your technique?
Just slow rolling for a start and on the flats, and then I got onto a few just break lines, just small drop-offs. And
What depth of water?
around about 20 foot of water, 15 to 20.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for that, Kerry. We look forward to seeing you in the next event. Thank you. Now we're getting up into the anglers who've actually qualified for the grand final. These other three anglers will be sleeping well now through the rest of the series, since they already know they're going to be at Crestbrook in May. This angler also caught 4 out of 10 fish, 1,665 points. Take home a cheque for $700. Timmy Morgan. Well done. Have a check.
Timmy.
Give us some words of wisdom.
No, just slow rolling spinner baits, and like Paul said, just bumping off trees on the bottom. I think the way I got my fish was just doing big long casts and keeping the lure in the strike zone as long as possible. And you go past the fish every now and then and hit your lure. Just luck.
Very good, thanks, Tim. Second placed angler this weekend scored 6 out of a possible 10 fish, and I think the second and first place anglers really showed maybe a cut above catching those fish. 2,475 points, check for $1,000. Like to by Craig Johnson, up to the stand for his first time. Craig actually made this trailer for us last year. We commissioned him to do it. I think he did a really good job. Good to see you finally made it up here. Craig, congratulations. Have a check. Maybe tell us how come a slow start and a fast finish?
Although I'm an early riser, I don't work well in the mornings for fishing wise, that's for sure. Don't know, a lot of luck, I guess. Just same as Timmy said, slow roll and spinner baits across the bottom. That's about it. Yeah, there's not much more to it. Yeah, I'd like to thank the two Steves for running these comps. I think they're excellent. I'd also like to thank Steve and Timmy Morgan and Tomo for a bit of guidance over the last couple of years. It's certainly helped. And all of the rest of the anglers, because you're a great bunch of guys and girls, and look forward to seeing you at Somerset.
Thanks, Craig. And I'd like to invite Corey Marcus from Bob Littler Agencies to present this prize. It's for the first place boater this weekend, and an angler will be taking home 200 Angler of the Year points. The season's off to a good start. He was last year's Angler of the Year. Caught 7 out of 10 fish this weekend, 2,800 points. Brett Thompson, come up to the stage. Well done, Brett. Congratulations. When we were first toying with the idea of having an association called the Australian Basses that everyone would join to fish these competitions, Brett was the first man out to whip the $20 out of the wallet, and he said, "I want to be the #1 Australian basser." And I think it's quite a coincidence that he's #1 in this tournament. Brett is a very good role model to a lot of the anglers here, and he's quite willing to share a lot of his knowledge. I'll hand over the microphone to him to say a few words, and maybe we can get an insight as to why Brett managed a couple more fish than lots of other anglers throughout this weekend.
Thanks very much, Steve. I'd like to thank everybody for turning up. Without all the competitors, and the support from everybody involved, hard to get numbers to competitions without the use of these guys putting in the hard work, and then catching a few fish, promoting it along makes it all worthwhile. Thanks, Mum, for the badge. Yeah, not bad. Also, I'd like to thank a few of my sponsors. Humminbird have been very generous to me, helping me with sounders and stuff so I can come out and fish. Also, Shimano have lent me a couple of rods and reels, Dave Irvine with the Environets, even though I don't know how to use them yet. Also Platypus for some super braid. Mainly I use 20-pound Harrow braid for all my spinnerbait work. Unless I'm going really soft presentation, I go down to 12 pounds. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Brett. You were due up here. You did very well last year, finishing I think third, fourth, and third in the 3 events. We're looking forward to see how you go for the rest of the season. Thanks very much. Corey Marcus would like to maybe have a few words as well.
On behalf of Humminbird, I want to congratulate everybody that's here today. It's a very professionally conducted competition, and there's a good atmosphere amongst the people that are competing in it. Humminbird obviously get asked to sponsor a number of fishing competitions on a national basis, and in my mind the one that actually sticks out the most is the Bass Series, because from a sponsor's point of view we seem to get the most amount of mileage for our dollar spend out of this comp, and basically it's a result of the work of these 2 people here. Fair enough, they've got some pretty good connections with the odd magazine, but they do work very hard. It's a pleasure to work with them, and I think they deserve a round of applause.
Thanks very much, and that's about it for today. I'm going to remind everyone who hasn't paid their camping fees yet that Mum will be at the gate letting down tyres of those that hasn't. Also, for the entry for the Somerset competition, a lot of people asked this weekend when they should do it. As always, we're allocating entries in order of receipt. So if you want to come to Somerset, particularly as non-boaters, I advise you get your entry in early, and we're looking forward to having a big field up there. Thanks very much for coming, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you at Somerset.
There's any flags.